So here we are at the final episode of True Blood Season 5, and I've just finished watching, and I'm going to give my thoughts. So yeah. Um, I'm kind of a bit shocked. Not shocked as in, oh my goodness, I can't believe that happened, but as in, oh my goodness, what was the entire point of this season at all? Why did any of this happen? And I really feel that True Blood is taking a trip down the wrong path, and I think it's capable of so much more than what happened this season. But that's a different review I'll do sometime. So this episode was the final episode, and it wrapped a couple of things up. Actually, no, it didn't wrap anything up. I'm lying. um, it basically was one massive cliffhanger for season 6, and I really hope in season 6 that they don't that they solve everything and they move on, because honestly, I feel that the show's getting a bit stale now. So everything's about pretty much the vampire authority, but I'm going to start off with the most redundant storyline in the history of redundant storylines, and that is, of course, Andy Belfleur and his quadruplet girls, half fairy, half human, you know, baby daughters he's now got. And I want to say that this scene was completely unrealistic. I don't get why they thought it would be a good idea to give Andy all these, like, you know, storylines, because he's a freaking cop. He's the sheriff. He is just as useless in terms of storyline. He doesn't give anything to the show. The main character, who's supposed to be Suki, does not interact with him at all. Nobody interacts with him apart from Holly. She's not an important character. So honestly, I don't get why they even bothered giving him a storyline. It's just completely stupid, and I just wish they'd stop giving him screen time when he's not important to the whole plot overall, and he doesn't need it. So basically, the fairy came in and she was like, "Yo, you gotta tell your girlfriend that we have this light pact and you're gonna leave her." Now, naturally, I honestly, whatever her name is, Morella or something, I don't really have an opinion on her. She was, again, not important. I don't know why they even included her in the show. The only reason she was in there was to give Suki this reading on uh, the trade thing, whatever, with Wallow, and that was it. And it was kind of a way to include the furry storyline, which I think is going to be more prevalent next season. So yeah, she walks off, and it's like nothing ever happened, and I was like, okay, whatever. The way that Holly reacted was completely just stupid. Like, if that were me, I'd be like, yo, you just got some girl pregnant. One, she's not even human. She just sat on the pool table and I delivered 4 of your illegitimate half-breed children. What the fuck, Andy Belfleur? You and I cannot be together. You need to sort your effing life out. I've got my own trouble as it is. I don't need this bullshit. But of course, she just seemed to be perfectly fine with it, and that kind of irritated me, because I really do like Holly. I think she's very nice, she's very genuine, and she deserves a break. So, whatever, I don't care, I'm done with that storyline. Then we have Suki. This whole Wallow thing was not solved, was not resolved, because the writers of True Blood don't realise that they actually have to tie up storylines and stop introducing irrelevant shit and actually finish what they started. They don't do that anymore, and that irritates the freaking crap out of me. So, yeah, the whole fairy thing was introduced this season. I think it was last season it was introduced, but more so this season, I feel. And I really, like I've said, I'm not a massive fan of the fairies. It's an interesting concept and everything, but with the way they just completely forget to even mention the fact that Jason's also part of fairy, I'm pissed off with that. And yeah, their take on the fairies, I feel, really isn't very original. It's just kind of like, oh, they're flamboyant, fabulous beings, and I was like, basically just created a, inhuman, supernatural Lafayette. That's basically what they did, and I was like, right, okay, whatever. So yeah, thankfully Russell Agenson died, which is good, because I feel that he was definitely burning out. He definitely was not the main enemy of this season at all. He was of season 3, and I get why, but this season, nah, he was just like, I think he was ever comic relief. And they didn't take him very seriously, which I was kind of irritated about because he was very much a threat in season 3, and the way they made him out to be in the beginning of season 5 was that, oh, it's going to be such a travesty if he returns and stuff like that. And then they just turned him into this like flamboyant joke, and I was like, whatever. And it was about time that he died because I was tired of seeing him on screen and stuff like that. Then of course Steve ran after him, and what happened to Steve? So yeah, I don't really care about Steve. I don't really think he's charming. I don't really think anything of him. They just again turn him into a completely stupid character. So he's probably going to be back next season, but only because, you know, he has to be. And I hate the fact that they turn these like one-off characters into show regulars, because they'll end up just destroying them like they did with Bill. So yeah. And then we have Eric, who comes back, and he's like, yo, you can't feel Suki and stuff like that. I'm really not interested in Suki and Eric as a relationship, like I said. Like I said on my video when I explained why I don't like them together, and someone called me a gay bitch Bill lover, because obviously just because I don't like Suki and Eric together, I must be in love with Bill. And yeah, that's freaking fantastic logic. I forgot what I was talking about. I just... Eric and Suki, I don't like them together. I'm not bothered about Eric this season. I really don't care. Yeah, he's cool and everything when he's really proactive, and then when he finally gets out of this whole, you know, pack vampire mentality thing, that's pretty cool, and he did play it really well, I feel, but other than that, meh. Him and Nora, I thought Nora was going to die, so I was kind of surprised that she was kept alive. So maybe, you know, if Nora actually has a storyline outside this whole religion fanatic thing, then I'm gonna like her more, because I did like it when she was very, like, you know, like flying through the air and throwing stakes at people. And can I say that bit when she was flying through the air throwing stakes at the other vampires, I just laughed because it was such bad special effects. It was horrendous special effects, but whatever. That's True Blood for you. Then you have, of course, Jason being like, yo, I think I really like Jason this season. I think, yeah, he's an idiot, and I do not think that he and Jessica are good together, because they're both two immature idiots getting together and having sex, and that's never a good, you know, thing. That's never, nothing good's ever going to come out of that. But he was like, I think he finally kind of starting to grow up, and it's weird that he kept seeing his mother and father, and his father was his parents were real douchebags, and I was like, oh, whatever, okay, weird. So I wonder what's going to happen with him seeing his parents, if that's ever going to be explained, if he's going to become like Lafayette where he sees dead people and stuff like that. I don't know. It's kind of a hot mess right now with Jason. Honestly, I thought he was going to get turned into a vampire from the previews, but then I was like, actually, no, they won't do that to him, and they didn't. And then I was thinking, well, what about this like Werepanther blood? Obviously, they haven't done anything with that. Maybe they need to like get and read on the books, because that's what. And I understand that the show doesn't follow the books anymore, which is completely fine. But since they draw like elements from the books, I think maybe they should look into giving Jason an actual, real, credible storyline, other than just being this idiot who seems to get used by women and uses women and has sex and does nothing else. So yeah. And then we have Sam and Luna. Honestly, I thought it was actually Sam who shifted into what do you call Steve. And I was thinking, why is he acting really weird? Because Sam doesn't walk like that, but obviously it was Luna. So that was cool to see, like, some sort of feminine, female fan power sort of thing. Like, she kind of took it into her own hands and stuff like that. That she was the one who was doing a lot of this stuff. The thing I like about their relationship, Sam and Luna, is that they give and take equally. It's not where Sam's always the one, like, you know, having to chase her down and save her and stuff like that. She can very much handle herself. Of course, yeah, she does get herself into some situations where she does get sick and ill and stuff like that, which is what we see at the end of this episode. But I like the fact that Sam's not a pussy boy either, and I don't mean to offend people with that. He's not like a pussy. She's not a pussy. They're both very strong characters, and I hope all the best for them too, and Emma as well. I just hope they don't destroy Luna and just make her some ravenous bitch. And I hope Emma gets over the sort of psychological trauma of having Steve just be a douche to her. So yeah, and then there's Alcide. It was interesting to see him kind of become the Pack Master. I knew it was coming because they had to kind of tie up that storyline. Obviously, he's going to be in next season. There wasn't really much on the romance angle, so with Alcide, and I was kind of like, weird. But you know what? Who cares? It was good to see him kind of being like, we have to respect each other, respect the park, respect nature, and he wasn't violent about the way he made an example out of the vampire. He said we don't have to be nihilists, so that was really good. Um, yeah. Lafayette, his storyline was completely over, and I was kind of like disappointed because I was like, of all the trouble he went to go to Mexico and then seeing Jesus and then like talking to dead people and the Iraqi woman, I was kind of like, well, what's the point? Like, he's just a plot device now. And yeah, I did like seeing him become like his old sassy self, but then he just became that kind of token gay black character, and that irritated me. I was like, come on, Lafayette's capable of so much more than this. Yeah, there was no Godric. I kind of thought there would be. Eric would kind of have a sort of moment of trouble where he'd see Godric and Godric would help him overcome it, but obviously it just didn't happen. I hope Godric's more in season 6. I love Godric, as you all know by now. Then of course we have, I'm probably leaving a million people out here, but we have Pam and Tara. No, I'm going to talk about Jessica. Jessica was like, Jason, I love you. And then Jason was like, yeah, I can't love a vampire because vampires are screwing my life up. And that's what I meant when I said that Jason was kind of growing up. He was kind of seeing the world through an adult's eyes. And he wasn't just like going along blindly like he did in season 2 with killing the vampires. He actually understood why he hated them, and not because someone else had told him to and like manipulated him. He genuinely hated them. So while I don't agree with the fact that he's kind of, going around hating people, I get why he does it. So I'm glad that they're kind of taking him a bit more seriously in terms of that. Jessica, don't really care. I just think she's becoming just a secondary character. She's not a main character like she was in early seasons because obviously she's not a new character. Then we have Tyra, who was amazing. She was so proactive. She was so like powerful. I was like, yeah, go Tyra. She's just such a badass as a vampire, and I think honestly it's one of the best executive decisions they did on the show by making her a vampire. She fits into the role so well, and I really hope the best for her. And Pam, she was like, it was really sweet to see her rescuing Pam, and I like the fact that they're two very similar characters who kind of have each other's backs. So I'm very, very, very much team Pam and Tara because they give each other and things, and they take things back off each other like Sam and Luna. So yeah, and I didn't think they'd actually kiss at all. I think it was going to perhaps be drawn out, that maybe they wouldn't even ever get together, they wouldn't even do anything like that. Obviously, next season I think there's going to be a lot of denial, a lot of bitchiness between each other, like, oh, just because we kiss doesn't mean anything and stuff like that. But the fact that they did kiss, I was so happy. I looked at it for a second, I was watching it, and then a second passed by, and then I was like, holy shit, they're kissing, and I was like clapping, and I loved it. It was just amazing. So I'm really glad for those two, and I hope that they get out really well. They get out alive and stuff. And then of course we have Salome. She's dead, thank God. Don't care about Salome. She was just a religious nut. She needed to go, so she's gone. And then we have Bill. What do I say about this? I don't have a lot of time left. This was a hot mess. Honestly, I just think they should have killed Bill. They should have given Bill perhaps his old personality ways back, but I think it would have been boring if he just went like that. So it was good that he kind of became the nemesis, whatever, but I just feel that it was a bit over the top and a bit rash, and it wasn't really necessary. Obviously, Lily's going to be like this whole like massive enemy next season and everything, but I just feel that they kind of wanted to kill two birds with one stone and make Bill the main enemy because obviously everyone's like, oh, Eric and Suki, and it doesn't need to be about that. Bill doesn't need to be an enemy. He's a very valuable ally, but he just did a complete stupid turnover this season. I was like, whatever. So I'm really sad that Bill's kind of gone. I was like, really, did he have to be like this? So yeah, so I don't know what's going to happen. Cliffhangers, people are going to die, I think. I thought Eric was going to die, but obviously not. But yeah, this is my review for True Blood Season 5, Episode 12, the season finale. Kind of disappointed with Bill. I just kind of felt it was kind of really anticlimactic. Cliffhangers, yeah, but it didn't, just because of cliffhangers didn't necessarily make it a good episode. So yeah, thanks for listening, and goodbye.